Hi, thanks for joining into this fortnight's video blog. As the 2021 has kicked off in earnest, I'm glad you've been able to link in for that. And as you know, in the video blog, I just try to take one thought, one leadership thought, and extrapolate it, expand it for a few minutes, and in a way that hopefully helps your leadership, whether it's of a not-for-profit, whether it's for a business, whether it's for a church, or whether it's just for yourself, a leadership thought that is helpful. And so the thought for this time is that leaders bring clarity to uncertainty. Leaders bring clarity to uncertainty, and that can be a little tricky because sometimes we just assume that certainty and clarity are the same thing. So how can you have clarity and uncertainty at the same time? Well, I want to suggest to you they are different, and that even in the midst of uncertainty, leaders can bring clarity to that. I guess this is a time where uncertainty is one of those famous words of the last season, but and COVID season has accelerated and accentuated that. But uncertainty didn't start with COVID. There's been uncertainty for a long, long time. All that's happened is quickened up, and there's more uncertainty than it seems we've had before. And uncertainty won't finish with COVID. So irrespective of what might happen with therapy, with vaccines, with COVID, uncertainty is here to stay. And it happens in all sorts of areas. It's uncertainty in the health scene. It's uncertainty in finances. It's uncertainty in relationships. There's uncertainty, certain uncertainties in a not-for-profit world, separate to a business world, some similar. So uncertainty is here to stay. And as leaders, we can bring clarity to that uncertainty. Let me try and make an illustration for the difference between certainty and clarity. So you and I maybe know people who have struggling health-wise and gone through all sorts of tests to try and find out what the problem is, and eventually they get a diagnosis. Now the prognosis, the future, what's the future may not be clear, may not be certain, but the fact that they know what it is has actually brought clarity. I've heard people say, well, at least I know what it's called, at least I know what I've got, at least I know what I'm up against. So even though there's uncertainty for the future, there is still some sort of relief in knowing the clarity for now. And that's really important in the world of leadership, to bring clarity when and whenever we can, when and wherever we can in that leadership world. So that's important. Leaders bring clarity to uncertainty. It's part of this discipline in the organizational world called change management. And change management is knowing how best to bring some of that clarity in that world of change, constant change, which is the world in which we live. Let me give you some examples. For example, if there's lots of changes happening, one of the things I would suggest is one of the best things you can do at the middle of trying to communicate changes or uncertainty that you're living in is to actually articulate those things that will not change. Sometimes just saying what's not going to change when we know there's lots of uncertainty around will actually bring relief, give people able to sigh and go, well, I know what's not going to change. Our vision's not going to change. Our mission's not going to change. How we treat people's not going to change. How we view customers or supporters or volunteers is not going to change. Sometimes just knowing that makes a huge difference. Or you might be in an organization where some part of the organization is going to change. There's a restructure or something happening. And sometimes we just don't say anything until it happens, but just giving the clarity to people of, well, we are reviewing your area. We don't know what it's going to look like yet, but we're reviewing it. And in a fortnight's time, we'll have more opportunity to explain what that really means. Or your job's going to change, and we're going to talk to you about that in the next week, just to give clarity for people in that so that they know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Or maybe there's a meeting and you come out of a meeting with some ideas, but you need to know, it needs to be clear who's doing what out of that meeting. Not just here's a bunch of ideas, but here's the clarity. So-and-so is taking this step, so-and-so is taking that step, and we're going to get back in a fortnight and check those out and see what's happened. So clarity in the midst of uncertainty is really, really important. And as leaders, it's our role to do that. The key thing is not to just I guess, default to the fact that there's so much uncertainty around. We don't know what the future holds. We'll just sit back and let it happen to us. No, you can't manage every ounce of uncertainty around the place, but you can give clarity when and where it's required, and up to the level to which you are certain about things. So leaders bring clarity in the midst of uncertainty, and that makes all the difference. Look, I hope that helps you, because I think clarity is a crucial thing in any organisation, any business, any church, so that you know and people know at least some aspects of where you're going and what you're doing in the midst of an uncertain world which is here to stay. So thanks for linking in. Love again your feedback. You can give that on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You can give that on my website, timhanna.com.au. And now I now have a YouTube channel, which is amazing for a technological dinosaur like myself. And I have to be honest, I didn't organise it. My son-in-law, who's much more tech savvy than me, was able to organise a YouTube channel where you find the previous video blogs, and you might find other stuff that I post there from time to time as well. So you can go on YouTube to Tim Hanna, and you'll see a few of the blogs when you just do that. But if you sort of scroll down, you'll find my name, and you're able to subscribe, and you'll get whatever comes on there in terms of these vlogs, and you'll get notification of that. So hey, how about that for the old dinosaur? So hey, thanks for joining in. I look forward to next fortnight. In the meantime, take care and stay safe.